heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for living, make a better place for you.
African American history is full of violence, brutality, and struggle. But with God's help, we overcame, picking up the pieces and rebuilding, carrying each other into the future. We fought tirelessly, we fought injustice, we fought for our country, fighting in wars, fighting in lunch counters, marching tirelessly for a real United States of America. There are many familiar heroes that we recognize year after year, but there are hundreds and thousands of other heroes that go uncelebrated. Here are a few.
Charles Drew was born on June 3, 1904 in Washington, D.C. Dr. Drew researched blood plasma and transfusions in New York City. It was during his work at Columbia University where he made his discoveries relating to the preservation of blood. Dr. Drew's system for the storing of plasma revolutionized the medical profession. He also established the American Red Cross Blood Bank, of which he was the first director.
Benjamin Banneker was born in Maryland on November 9, 1731. His father and grandfather were former slaves. Banneker is regarded as the first African American science and inventor. He was also a gifted mathematician, and in 1791, Banneker was a technical assistant in the calculation and the first ever surveying of the Federal District, which is now Washington, D.C.
Madam C.J. Walker was born on December 23, 1867 in Delta, Louisiana. Sarah Breedlove, who later became known as Madam C.J. Walker, was born into a former slave family to parents On and Minerva Breedlove. Madam Walker was an entrepreneur who built her empire developing hair products for Black women. She was a gifted speaker and philanthropist.
George Washington Carver, inventor, born July 12, 1854, Diamond Grove, Missouri. Carver invented and developed what we know today as the peanut agricultural science. As an agricultural chemist, Carver discovered 300 uses of the peanut and hundreds more ways with soybean, pecan, and sweet potato.
Harriet Jacobs was born a slave in Eaton, North Carolina in 1813. Harriet Jacobs was a nurse and an author. She wrote an autobiography called Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, which highlighted the sexual abuse of women in slavery. This particular phase of slavery has generally been kept veiled, but the public ought to be made acquainted with its monstrous features, and I willingly take the responsibility of presenting them with the veil withdrawn. I do this for the sake of my sisters in bondage who are suffering wrongs so foul that our ears are too delicate to listen to them.
General Abraham Petrovich Hannibal, 1696, 20 April 1781, was an African slave who was brought to Russia by Peter the Great and became Major General, military engineer, and governor of Revel. He is perhaps best known today as the great-grandfather of Alexander Pushkin, who wrote an unfinished novel about him, The War of Peter the Great.
Our history is full of the nameless millions who came before us, making out a path that we could walk behind, opening doors for us in sports, changing the way the game was played, changing music and popular culture, creating a place for African American families to grow into something more, opening doors that previously would not have been open, making a way for us to reach higher and higher, creating an America that is truly representative of who we are.